Now let's jump over to that Joe Rogan guy, because here he is talking about how the government is going to go out of its way to regulate everything. There will be new open source sites. There will be sites built to protect free speech, but the machine is going to do everything it can to clamp down. And we don't know, as Eric pointed out, we don't know exactly what that will look like, but I think we're starting to get some hints.
If the open source movement does take hold, if people recognize this as being a real serious threat and start applying, just using whatever it is, whether it's Minds or the various open source social media networks, don't you think the government would somehow or another try to regulate that as well if they've already got control over Facebook and Twitter? And
well, that's the threat. So the threat always is that they're going to come in and do that, and that is what they're threatening to do. That there is energy in Washington by people trying to figure out how to regulate or ban open source. Having said that, banning open source, like interfering at that level, carries consequences with it. And so, and there are serious proposals from serious people to do what I'm about to describe. Do you run a software program on everybody's own computer, right? Watching everything that they do, because you have to make sure that they're not running software they're not supposed to be running. Do you have basically an agent built into everybody's chip so that it's not running, software that's not supposed to be running, right? And then what do you do when somebody's running unapproved software? Do you send somebody to their house to take their computer away?
All right, so I should have mentioned before the clip, the guy he's talking to there is an internet legend in his own right. That's Marc Andreessen, who is a billionaire tech guy who has done a gajillion sites. He did pass on locals, by the way, but that's okay. He's a good guy. But the point is, even as we decentralize things, will the machine try to figure out how to take us out? Why is the machine so against Bitcoin? The idea that I could store a decentralized something of value and exchange value with you in a decentralized way that has nothing to do with the government. Why is that a threat to the government? Well, then they don't get their piece, right? Because they're basically like the mafia.